It's great to be here today with Matt Smith, the General Manager at Southpac in the New Zealand office. Matt, thanks for coming on the show.
No, pleasure, Blake, and thanks for coming to New Zealand to visit us. It's really great to have you here in our office today.
It's a lovely country. First time in New Zealand in quite a while. It's been about 10 years. I just got back from a week in the Cook Islands. Great being with your office up there. Beautiful country. I did give myself a little bit of a sunburn, but I just consider that a souvenir. So jumping right into it, why Southpac? If a client is looking to protect their assets, why should they consider using Southpac?
Yeah, well, we've been around 40 years now. We celebrated our 40th anniversary this year after setting up in the Cook Islands in 1982. During the 80s, Southpac worked with US asset protection specialists to develop what is now the gold standard in international asset protection trust law in the Cook Islands. It's become in that time a premier jurisdiction and one of the best and most protected places that you can place your assets via a trust.
And why is the Cook Islands the most protected jurisdiction? I certainly agree with you, but for all of our watchers today, why would you recommend the Cook Islands for someone looking for asset protection?
Yeah, so the laws that are in place in the Cook Islands, they are very protective to anyone who's placing assets into a trust who doesn't have a creditor, doesn't have anyone who's looking to sue them for any reason. Any assets they place into a trust in that situation are going to be protected from day one. No creditor in the future can touch those assets. Even if that person does have a current creditor who may be looking to sue them but hasn't yet started suing them, hasn't yet brought proceedings, there are still a lot of protections that they can get, and it's still going to be very, very hard for a creditor to access any assets in the trust. They will have to show a court in the Cook Islands beyond reasonable doubt that the settlor has placed those assets into the trust with the principal intent to defraud them, that particular creditor, and that placing those assets into the trust meant that the settlor couldn't pay what they owed to the creditor. So there's a number of hurdles that need to be cleared. It's a tremendously difficult process for a creditor to break into a Cook Islands trust, and that's why so many cases settle.
And in addition to beyond a reasonable doubt being the standard of proof, they also don't recognize foreign court orders. Someone who went through the entire process in, let's say, the United States would have to start the process again in the Cook Islands.
Yeah.
And on top of that, contingency fees are prohibited in the Cook Islands. Most cases in America, or lots of cases in America, are brought on a contingency fee where the plaintiff doesn't have to pay anything in order to bring their case. What they find out, if they want to try this case in the Cook Islands, they're going to have to get some skin in the game, and often quite a bit, because it can be quite expensive to litigate in the Cook Islands as well. So can you talk to me a little bit about the Nevis LLC? This is a common addition to a Cook Islands trust. Why are clients setting up a Nevis LLCs in conjunction with a Cook Islands trust? So
a lot of clients like to use a trust and LLC structure because you've got the protective umbrella of the trust that holds the interest in the LLC. And the client, as long as they're not under some kind of duress, can manage the LLC, manage the assets in there. We do need clients to remember that the trustee owns that LLC. It's the trustee's company. The client's managing it for the trustee. So the client needs to keep the trustee in the loop, but generally will have day-to-day control over those assets. So long as they don't go, distributing assets out to themselves, treating those assets as if they own them themselves, then the trust structure will be respected and it will still provide that protection. Sure. So that's why a lot of clients use an LLC. The reason clients like a Nevis LLC is because Nevis has got a very protective LLC jurisdiction. It developed its laws in the mid-90s it's still a very popular product. One of the key features of the Nevis LLC is that the only remedy available to a creditor who has to go through a Nevis court to get it is that they can get a charging order over a portion of the assets.
And that charging order expires after 3 years. So.
It does. It expires after 3 years. It's non-renewable. While it's in place, the creditor can't use it to force a distribution. So if the company can effectively be placed into cold storage, if you like, not have any activities, not make any distributions, the creditor's going to get nothing as a result of that charging order, and then it expires.
So let's talk a little bit about banking side. So in addition to forming the Cook Islands Trust, we recommend clients open a bank account under the trust structure somewhere outside of the United States, somewhere where their assets are not going to be threatened. We have a relationship with a bank out of the Cook Islands, but what other banking options do you see clients often use when creating a Cook Islands Trust?
Yeah, so a lot of the most popular banking options that our clients go to are with some of the banks in Switzerland. There's some very long established banks, some centuries old, that we work with over there. And Switzerland's got the reputation for privacy, for safety, for security, and that's attractive to a lot of clients. There are a few options outside of Switzerland. We've got relationships with banks in Liechtenstein, in Austria, in Nevis, and a couple of others throughout the world, and always looking to develop new relationships with other banks.
And so there's this misconception that U.S. individuals cannot open Swiss bank accounts. This is not true. Some Swiss banks may not want to open an account, but there's many Swiss banks that cater to the Americans. America has a big pool of money, and the banks want to cater to that. So there is the ability to open a Swiss bank account as a U.S. citizen under Cook Islands Trust. And this gives you the best of both worlds. It gives you what I consider to be the most stable banking system, banks with the highest capital reserve ratios, and also the protection of the Cook Islands, which I consider to be the most protected jurisdiction in the world. With this situation, clients know their money's safe from bank failures, or as safe as possible from any issues with the bank, but also with that, their money's safe from their home country creditors and lawsuits that could come after their assets. And the Cook Islands Trust can be used for two reasons, I would say. One is for protecting the money if someone does an adjustment against the client, but also there are excellent tools in negotiating a settlement. The Cook Islands have a reputation as being the world's most protected jurisdiction. And if somebody's coming after assets and they're held inside of Cook Islands Trust, chances are the plaintiff attorney is going to be interested in at least entertaining a settlement offer upon learning that assets are held inside of a Cook Islands Trust. One final question for you. I work with quite a number of clients who have cryptocurrency. What can you do to protect clients' cryptocurrency?
Yeah, obviously it's been such a huge growth area over the last few years. Even with the knockbacks that crypto has taken this year, there's still a lot of clients that we have and that are coming in and asking about crypto solutions. There are a couple of quite formal options, formal in that they're available through banks. So there's one bank in Liechtenstein we work with that offers a full cryptocurrency service. The bank can hold crypto alongside cash or gold or equities and securities and bonds, just as part of an investment portfolio. It's got digital security. It's also got a physical vault for the storage of crypto wallets there. We also work with a bank in Switzerland that can provide a similar service. That bank has been set up with very much with digital assets and currencies in mind, and so those have been two really interesting options that we've brought online for clients in the last couple of years. Outside of that, we're always looking for new solutions for dealing with crypto. It's it can be a difficult asset to manage because you've got the private key, the public key, and the facts involved in that. There are other kind of workarounds that can provide some level of protection, such as holding a crypto account via an LLC that's offshore, or having a wallet that's held pursuant to some sort of custodial agreement with the trustee. They're not the most protective, but they offer something of a workaround. We're always open to looking at what new solutions come online and can be available to clients.
And I appreciate that about Southpac, that you're agile and you're adapting to the changing times. Matt, thank you so much for your time today, and thank you for all that you've done for my clients over the years. And I very much look forward to continuing to work with you in the years to come.
Pleasure, Blake. Really enjoy working with you, and great to see you and to have you here in New Zealand.